I'm here in studio with Michael Jones, author of 4 Wives Are Better Than One. Now, Michael, you said in your book that you finally feel complete.
Sorry, just texting wife 1 there. Yeah, as I said in the book, this is the perfect life. I finally feel okay, that is wife 2 calling right now. Sorry about that. Hey, no, I'm going to pick it up on my way home. I already told you. Listen, I'm doing your parents next weekend, by the way. This weekend I'm going to Dana's. And by the way, I'm in an interview. I'm talking about the book right now. I got to go.
Michael, what would you say are some of the benefits of this lifestyle?
Sorry, I just got to take a quick photo here. Wife 3 doesn't believe where I am at the moment.
You say your life feels complete in ways
wife 4
you
right
didn't.
there. I'm going to have to take this. Hi. No, breathe. Stop crying. Just breathe. Maybe your boss has a bit of a point. Okay, Jennifer, Olivia, yes, that's an honest, okay, she hung up.
And now you say you strongly recommend.
Am I getting paid for this appearance, by the way? Even just some petty cash would help a lot. I got to pick up food on the way home. The 4 wives don't want to cook today.
All right, well, Michael, thank you for coming by. And again, the book is 4 Wives Are Better Than One by Michael Jones.
I'm so sorry. I got to take this.
Okay.
The boys. It's the BOYSCAST. The lads. It's the BOYSCAST. The dudes. Prepare yourself for BOYSCAST. The bros. It's the BOYSCAST. The homies. It's the BOYSCAST. The dudes. Experience the BOYSCAST.
The BOYSCAST. Back in action. Creeping up to 3,000 patrons again.
Yes, we are.
So the next thing, also comment below if you have any. We're doing gun range, me versus Danny, but comment below if you have anything. Basically, we'll do whatever you want to 3,000 patrons. We don't need 300 more people.
Yeah, we're close.
We go make a full TV show about whatever.
Shekels.
Yeah, and also. My tour is officially over till I go to Australia. I was on tour basically for 8 months straight, so I'm happy to be done. And the last 4 weekends were every show was sold out. So Austin's pretty fun because everyone's there.
Yeah.
But JJ, he's like the king of Austin, right? He's like the king of the open mics. You guys see this guy walking around just like, Tommy, Johnny. You go to the grocery store, he knows the clerks.
Sure,
he really has that city known.
The guy behind the pastry counter.
He actually does. He knows every restaurant. He goes, shakes the hand of the chef after every meal he eats, which is just a taco. He's
on a truck. He's in the truck.
He has to see the guy at the back of the truck. This man's in his element when he gets there, but the funniest part is, I don't know why this makes me laugh so much, but basically he says that when they ask him what music to come up with, he just says rock and roll. Oh. So this is, I think, Houston. The lady's the sound guy. She got a shirt that says Black Power. Okay. She just goes, so she just types in rock and roll. And then Eric finishes. He brings up JJ, and I just hear, it's like that old time rock and roll. Is that not the funniest song for JJ to come up to? It's like the music just soothes my soul. JJ coming up to old time rock and roll was fucking killing me.
He probably thinks it's awesome. He goes, fucking, what was that, Seeger? Probably doesn't know who Bob Seger is, but he's probably.
I know.
But he has no clue who Bob Seger. Man, wait till he finds out about Bob Seger, though.
He was gonna fucking love Seeger when he finds out about him. You're like that old time rock and roll. How's everybody doing today? It's legitimately the perfect song for him to come up to.
Weirdest.
It's just some
generic. Just it should be like a commercial.
Black lady with a Black Power shirt on playing it.
Should be just like the soundtrack to an insurance commercial / JJ's intro.
Austin was crazy though. I did because everyone's there. I had kind of almost a wild day. So the day before I left, I was I went and did Roseanne's podcast. Nice. Went drinking with her during the day, partying.
Yeah,
yeah, she's rocking out.
How old is she?
70-ish,
and she's just still.
Jerry Seinfeld's 70. Guy looks 45.
Yeah, he looks good, but he takes care of himself. I don't think he drinks or anything. She's raging it.
Yeah, I think 70 or something like that. Yeah. Then I went from that. I went straight from that. Met Chris Williamson and some people. Did dinner with those guys. Then we met up with the tech billionaires.
Sure.
And then I went to all the Austin comics, all the Philly boys who moved to Austin, all our friends, Gardini and that whole squad. Nice. They all and Lemaire. They all had a party, and we went and met up with all those guys. It was sick day though. It's how much people are all there.
Yeah, there's tons of people there, right?
I know, and so we obviously were going to address this. I was most of my weekend was rap battles,
rap beefs,
buddy. So
I got enemies.
honest to God, realized that I got too deep into it. And so I went, it was that day. And while I was leaving the tech bar, where they had a bar where basically you don't have your phones at the bar, which by the way is a hassle and a half.
What, like Beyonder pouches?
These guys own a bar and it's like a fancy bar and you have to leave your phone at the door. And it's like, so people talk, people.
Yeah, it's just like.
Or people can go with their mistress.
Right, yeah. It's probably more just like, hey, we miss the good old days. We can just do shit without getting filmed.
Yes, but the world isn't caught up to that.
Sure.
So basically, when you're there, one day I was supposed to meet them, and the guy thought he sent me the address, but he didn't.
Yeah.
So I was like, I didn't know where to go,
and you can't contact him.
We just had to wait, and then he messaged me half an hour later because he goes to the front to check his messages.
Right, yeah.
So it's like everything's like a hassle because you're like, I'm gonna meet up with people, but or someone's trying to meet you, but they can't.
I guess back in the day, you would have called the restaurant from a payphone.
Oh my God.
And be like, hey, is so and so there? Can I talk to them?
Yes.
Can you find them for me?
Yeah. That's kind of what it was.
Yeah.
Back to that.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it was just like everything you said. You're like, oh, I got to show you the funniest thing. Can't.
Yeah.
Like everything was that.
You're just describing memes. So it's this guy. It's like a crudely drawn photo, and he's got this mask, but he's crying behind the mask.
You know what? On the topic of the phone thing, I forgot about this, but so I was actually reading Jonathan Haid's book, which was like about how phones are bad.
Yeah.
While I'm having these conversations about like, obviously we need our phones.
Sure.
But then on a plane, a lady, she was probably 55 years old. 2-hour conversation, basically like the intro we just did.
Yeah.
This woman is like, all of the things, it was like out of like if I wrote like a woman, she goes, no, the problem isn't that you did it. It's that you didn't communicate it to me beforehand.
Oh my God.
And she goes, at one point she goes, no, I like that you're growing. I understand that you're making effort. And that's why I didn't mention it last time when you did that. This is going on for a good, 2 hours, and our plane's delayed. So we're on the runway.
Oh, this isn't in the air.
No. 45 minutes, and then I get out of my chair and I start walking around because I'm like, I cannot anymore. And I'm not the type of guy to say anything, so I gave her a few looks. It wasn't doing anything, so I just deal with it. Then the plane goes in the air, and she starts doing the fight in voice notes. I've never seen anything like it.
Oh my God!
This guy was like, oh, well, I guess you're on the plane now. We'll talk about this in 3 hours.
Sure.
And she was like, no.
I saw.
No.
Yeah.
Can you imagine you're in a fight and then she does voice notes the whole plane ride?
That's insane. Yeah, I saw Portnoy.
Fuck off.
Portnoy tweeted something where he's like, I was just on a plane, and he goes, I just made 2 phone calls. He goes, I didn't know you could do that.
Well, yeah, because you have Wi-Fi.
Your Wi-Fi, but I guess because they say you're not. I assume they had disabled that, but I guess they can't disable that feature, so you can just make phone calls.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
Oh my God! If everybody finds out about that, holy shit!
It's the end of the world.
What a nightmare!
They have to really crack down on it.
That's crazy.
I'm telling you, I couldn't believe it when I was like, finally the plane's starting. Enough of this.
Yeah.
And then. And another thing.
Oh my God.
I couldn't believe it. And then our plane got boarded, so we went back in the airport. And then she's like, she sat next, like probably within 20 meters of me. So I heard her even when we were in the like lounge. She like never stopped with her. So anyways,
sounds like hell.
Yeah.
Some people just don't know how to act in public.
But rap battles, I was all in on this stuff, right? And especially being a Toronto guy, and I was, when Family Matters came out, a lot of the Toronto boys lived there too. We put it on the big screen because so I was arguing with everyone, right? A lot of people were sort of agreeing with me, but when Kendrick Lamar made his latest one, and then Drake responded to it, right?
The one calling him a pedophile?
Kendrick Lamar did his verse calling him a pedophile, and Drake responded to it with the first one that I thought was bad. Like, I literally, halfway through, I was just like, fuck, this isn't good. Well, it was a 4-minute song of... I'm not a pedophile for 4 minutes, right?
Literally, the rap beat somehow...
And it was so specific, too. It was like, if I was to go to a club and take a 14-year-old back with me, I would never do something like... It was like, I halfway through, I was just like, no, not Drake, no. Yeah, and I went to the bar with everyone, and it was like affecting me.
Sure.
I was just like... And then I went home, and I listened to it again, because every night I would go home and listen to all the songs.
Yeah.
And then I was laying in my bed, and I couldn't sleep because I was like bummed out.
Sure.
And then I was just like, oh, I'm too deep.
Yeah.
I'm fucking. I'm sitting in my bed. I'm mad because Drake didn't win his rap battle, and I'm just like, I realized I was like, okay, that's enough rap battles for you.
All right, yeah. It's funny how it devolved into essentially just like a bar show roast battle where it's like, you're a pedophile. It's like, you're a pedophile.
Well, Drake had better roast battle things. You got your back against the curb. He got like a lot of funny things, right? And aside from the fact that Drake's from Toronto and all that stuff, I kind of felt a lot of the stuff about Kendrick Lamar before, where it's like he opened his mouth, give him a Grammy. He's the guy where, like, no matter what he does, people are going to say it's amazing. Yeah. And I'm not saying he's good, but he could release a song with no lyrics and every critic would tell you why it was the most brilliant thing ever.
Yeah.
So I just hate the people that like the critics fucking drool over. Not them, but
also he
like
wasn't, I guess from what I understand, everybody's mad because he hadn't really been releasing any music. So for them, they were like, just to get something from him.
Oh, totally.
People were pretty pumped about just to get anything.
That's true.
But are any of the songs like my thing is like, are any of the songs where people will be listening to them in a year? Or
Drop and Give Me 50 maybe?
Yeah.
Well, that's the two different styles. One is you try to make like a banger, and the other one is like,
I understand like the roast, the whatever battling element of it, but in terms of the actual music,
the fans are funny too. Like if I've been deep in the comment sections, and no matter what they say, like on Rap Genius and stuff, you could literally be like, I had sex with my mom, and they'll be like, no, the mom is referring to when Big Pun said mom in 1975, right. And when he says sex, that was from Mobb Deep's second album that actually never got released. Like no matter what they say, people could like spin it to say it's amazing.
People like their sides, man. People take their sides. It seems like Kendrick's winning though.
He wasn't, in my opinion, until this.
Just based on the plays, like if you go on YouTube, he has half as many.
Well, Drake's all of his plays because all his songs came out other places first. Right?
But I'm saying just the YouTube once they moved over to YouTube.
But remember Drake's like song came out 9 different places and he put it on his own channel like 5 days later.
Right.
So all the initial plays, most of them came from other places. This is why I obviously am biased. You know how people are like liberal or Republican, and it was like there's no chance they would change. I'm a little bit like that.
Sure.
And like I am just like how you are with probably the Raptors and Leafs a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I am just on my side.
You're a homer.
I'm a homer.
Yeah, you're a homer. Right, that's understandable.
But he goes, Kendrick Lamar, to me, it was all cheap tricks. And it was also very female shit where it was just like, no one thinks you're black enough. And by the way, we were all saying this. It's not just me. So all of his things was just like, and by the way, like everyone's been saying this when you're not there. Like what you would say to, like what your girl, or like maybe not your girl, but like a really like catty girl would say, just so you know, no one likes you. Yeah. Like everyone thinks this bad. Like, isn't that the most, like when you have dudes that are just like, just so you know, like no one likes you. No. Like that's a very like catty woman. Yeah. So it came across a little bit like that to me, but I got way too.
You're done. Are they done? Well, Drake got his house got.
And I don't like the weird voices. It kind of reminds me of Eminem's weird voice era when he was doing all the weird voices.
Yeah. His security guard got shot, so at least it's becoming like an actual rap battle.
And you know who did that? I actually found out it was Snow, the rapper. No. Well, that's true. That when the shooting happened, it took some heat off of his 9 minutes of I'm not a pedophile.
Sure, yeah, the shoot. Well, at
like
least people are like, all right. At least be like regular people are like, all right, here we go. This is getting something.
That's
becoming something.
I didn't like. I mean, that sucks, obviously, but
yeah.
But it's also an excuse for Drake to do another track, and it sort of took some heat off the 9 minutes.
You know what's funny? Apparently, I didn't get any update on this, but apparently there's a witness. I get a witness? There's a witness to the shooting, and the witness, what happened is this must be a fucking nightmare for Drake. So because people know where he lives, because he just lives in like downtown Toronto.
Well, it's like Hollywood. Everyone knows. You walk by, and like that's Clooney's house.
I guess so. Yeah. But anyway, so some guy on the night of the shooting drove outside of like an aspiring rapper parked outside of Drake's house, put on his own music at full blast because he wants Drake to hear his music.
Oh my God.
Right. And so then the security guy's like, get the fuck out of here. Like, what are you doing? But I guess like he must get that a lot where people are like, oh man, if Drake just hears this one fucking bar, I'm in, I'm signed, I'm OVO for life, all that stuff. So anyways, the guy was outside blaring his music. They're like, get out of here. But the guy, instead of leaving, just turned his radio off and just like moved a little bit. And then the shooting happened. So the guy who was trying to get in Drake's good books actually witnessed the shooting.
And now it sort of worked because he's probably doing all this press about it.
I don't know. I read this like an hour ago. So this is still pretty fresh.
That would be the worst for a comedian, of people come outside of your house and tell jokes.
Just on the fucking loudspeaker.
What do you tell a girl with 2 black eyes? What? No, I said you already told her twice. You're like, that's a street joke. Yeah, I'm on the street.
Hey, see?
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, everyone just likes to hate Drake so much.
Yeah.
But I'm sure people here are going to probably tell me why I'm wrong. I've already gotten people on Patreon and platforms messaging me because I've been writing for it.
Really
people
sensitive.
have been messaging me being like, obviously Kendrick's better. And I'm like, nope.
Yeah. People are really sensitive about this stuff, though. I tweeted like, this is basically Israel-Palestine for guys who are too into sneakers.
Well, it is, though.
But I know, but dude,
For me, it's my Israel-Palestine.
But people are like, literally, people were responding, being like, this is the dumbest tweet I've ever seen in my life. Like, people were like getting
what?
But people were taking it personal, where they're like,
oh, people that are into the beef.
Into the beef. They go, this is the stupidest thing I've ever read in my life. Like that someone would tweet this.
But it is my Israel-Palestine.
I know that. And it was just a joke, but people took it so personally where I'm like, I couldn't believe like the fucking nerve I hit with some people where they're like.
With the rap fans.
With the rap people who were, the rap fans.
Interesting. I'm surprised that they would even. I found the rap fans are pretty funny, to be honest. Like a lot of the comment sections were just making jokes like, J. Cole's just like chilling at his house, right? And kind of being like, a lot of people were just pumped. They're like, you know what? Like, we're the real winners. This is sick. Like, there was a point where most of the comments were just like, this is sick.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah. We're getting lots of new music, so this is awesome.
Yeah.
Daily.
It's like something everyone's talking about. It's like a fun topic. It's got a funny element, but to me, it really is the like, how sometimes you don't like things, like if someone you hate really loves something, it almost makes you not like it.
Yeah.
Whereas Kendrick Lamar is that, like all of the like smarmy fucking, critics that, like nerdy rap critic types, the nerdiest ones all will just tell you how like, he's such a genius.
Sure.
Which almost like that alone kind of makes me turned off.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what, Drake, the last thing was Drake's just like, I'm done?
I don't think he's done.
But it was, was that? Well, they were coming out every 6 hours.
Well, yeah.
Has there been?
Well, I think you had to go back to the lab after the 10 minutes of I'm not a pedophile. I don't know what he was thinking. I was like, I don't know how he did me like that. I was just like. I feel like he's smart enough to know that you sort of like even just look at politics. Like if someone says like a politician's a pedophile, they don't do a press tour about how they're not a pedophile. You graze over it.
It's the Meek Mill thing. Remember where he's like, I love pussy. I'm not gay. My favorite thing in the world is pussy.
If someone calls you gay, you don't do a song about how like I would never.
Yeah, you don't make Mambo number 5. I'm not gay.
Well, Drake made literally if a guy says you're gay and you make a song, be like, never in a million years would I bring a guy back to my house, take his clothes off and suck his dick. And then do it again. And then he had sex with me as if. He was mentioning the names and stuff. It like puts it in people. It's like if someone didn't. I mean, it's the oldest thing in the book where you're just like, if someone says I'm not a pedophile, it's suspicious.
Yeah, sure.
Like just picture a guy wearing a shirt that says I'm not a pedophile.
You don't need to defend yourself against these crazy accusations.
Yeah, you kind of go like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And he had the good things where he basically convinced. They like fed Kendrick Lamar fake information, made him write a whole song, which was like a ballad to his daughter. It's like, that's a pretty big win, but it got grazed over because the first minute was like all that shit. And the second minute was like, yeah, that's right. We got you. And also I would never have sex with a 1-year-old.
Come on.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I literally listened to the song 3 times in my bed, just like, what the fuck? I got too in deep. I've detached myself from it.
Yeah, that's probably fine.
Yeah, it's like I legitimately have removed my caring from it now. I had to.
That's probably the way to go.
It's bad for my system. Yeah, it was probably like how people get with politics.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what? One day was frying me.
Yeah.
These people get in, for 6 years being like, fucking Trump, man. Like, can't believe this fucking piece of shit. Like, imagine getting like that for, 8 years. Of course it's going to be bad for your psyche and make you depressed and all that shit, Yeah. One day of this shit was driving me in the fucking madhouse. The loony bin.
Well, it's over now.
Okay, well, hopefully not. But this is just a quick thing. But art, we always like to talk when art and fashion is at its absolute peak ridiculousness. Times Square giant hot dog is apparently a meat manifesto about toxic masculinity. So this is in Times Square, our hood. They put
Oscar Mayer's having like a crisis meeting right now, being like, "Why are people saying this about our giant hot dog? We're just trying to promote hot dogs with the 4th of July coming up."
First of all, yeah, and if you want to come for dogs,
you're coming for us.
You're coming for us.
Yeah.
But second of all, if you want to make some art with a dog, you can make some art with a dog. You don't have to be. It's always every abstract art thing is either capitalism or consumerism, right? It's always a commentary on those two things. And when you're making a dog, if you want to do a hot dog sculpture, I respect that.
Yeah.
But they can't do their hot dog sculpture. They have to be like, no, it's about consumerism and capitalism and why dogs are bad and toxic masculinity. And it was like, well, now you crossed the line, pal.
Who even allows that? Like, you got to go to the city, be like, we want to put up a 40-foot hot dog.
Yeah, I think you pay some money and get a spot and you get a permit. The sculptors, Jen, and a guy named Paul did this. Paul Outlaw, opposite of.
Okay.
By the way, if you're going to be a guy making hot dog sculptures because masculinity is a
Also,
problem.
I mean, this has been said a million times, but if your art requires like massive explanation and nobody knows what it's about, it's probably usually shit.
I think
like
so.
If nobody, it's like that, that joke where they'll take like they'll go in some famous gallery and then they'll get like, my dog made this painting, and then everybody's around it being like, oh, what do you think this?
That's the critics with Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah,
in my opinion. The Titanic sausage is apparently meant to examine consumption, capitalism, class, and contemporary culture. So that's what the dog's doing.
Literally, fuck off.
I don't think the dog's doing any of that stuff.
Dog is not doing
hypermasculinity and showmanship, often associated with American culture, and patriotism. So that's also a commentary on patriotism and the patriarchy of meat eating.
What? This is nonsense.
Yeah, if you want to, I got my dog thing right there. My hot dog sculpture in the back. That's a commentary on naggy wives.
Everybody knows how we feel about dogs. There's not much else needs to be said about our affinity for the dog.
If they keep doing this, I think I was gone. I just got back last night, but I could definitely go to do a street interview messing with these dog people if they're going to keep it up.
Is it
I
inflatable?
Dare you.
Is it inflatable? Can you go pop the dog as your own art?
This is a commentary on critics.
Counter artists. Pop the dog.
I know what I should do is go with a taco art exhibit.
A burger.
This is taco for girls. This is a commentary on communism and toxic femininity.
Yeah.
It's too much. But we're talking about these people that are against meat. This is a funny blank and blank actually agree. PETA is in uproar in growing trend of cicada, which is basically grasshoppers, right?
They're like grasshoppers, yeah.
Menus this summer. Bloom approaches as animal rights group uses people dressed as insects eating humans. So they did a little bit of a art piece themselves, which is insects eating humans, because they don't think that people should be eating the bugs.
You know what's so stupid too is they do their premise is they go, insects wouldn't eat humans. You're like, yes, they would.
Yeah.
You're like, you're so stupid. You're like, if insects were giant and we were small, they would eat us.
Have you not seen Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
What are you talking about? Like that is the dumbest point. You could just be like, look, I'm against eating like animals.
Yeah, they would never do it to us.
They would never do it to us. And you're like, yeah, they would.
And also, they have different like pain receptors. Their brains don't feel it the same way. But that being said, I agree with them.
Yeah.
I also don't want to eat the bugs.
Don't want to eat the bugs.
But that's what I'm saying. It's funny is they had how many articles are there about like anyone who talks about eating bugs is like a far right extremist.
Sure.
So how good would it be to go to the PETA thing and being like, oh, fucking conspiracy theorists.
No, you show up in your MAGA hat to support them.
Yeah, or that.
You go, yeah, I'm with you.
These fucking WEF pieces of shit trying to make
liberal
us eat the
scum, and they're like, sir, we are liberal scum though.
These liberal fucking piece of shit trying to make us eat bugs. I hear you, brother. And don't get me started on the fucking Jews.
Yeah, and who's making us eat the bugs,
Yeah.
right?
Preach it, brother.
Let's keep going down this path.
The guy's dressed in a fucking grasshopper costume.
With like a rabbi grasshopper costume.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll tell you what. Pop one of these on there. Let's really talk. You ready? It sounds like you ready for the next step, pal. Mm-hmm. On May 2nd, PETA's activists held a pop-up humanitarianism exhibit featuring people dressed as giant cicadas. Why do they call grasshoppers cicadas?
I think it's just a type of grasshoppers. Like they're the really noisy ones. I think grasshoppers. I don't think make that like noise. Like, you know, if you're in a field like in the summer at night and you hear that like
Well, so there's a little difference between the two.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, anyways, I just think it's so funny, the idea that they finally, super. Like if you really hate the World Economic Forum, and PETA has opinions that are currently directly in line with that, it's like always good.
They will not eat the bugs, but for different reasons.
You know what I was kind of thinking? I always like stock analogies, but when people talk about conspiracies, a lot of people will be like, oh, that guy's, he believes crazy stuff. He's into conspiracies. People try to write it off. Obviously, there's a part of it that's, they have the mainstream agenda, blah, 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 right? Yeah. But to me, it was like, you don't have, and then they kind of go, well, they're always wrong. And you're like, well, the media is always wrong. But the difference to me is when someone's into conspiracies, that's like a guy telling you about like penny pharmaceutical stocks, right? Mm-hmm. So if that guy's right 1 in 15 times, that's actually pretty sick.
Sure. Yeah. Like, I mean, if you're right
you made $1 million, right?
Yeah. If you're right about some really out there thing.
Whereas when the media is wrong, a lot of times it's them wrong. It's they're being wrong about like telling you Amazon was going up. Yeah. And then you also find out that they actually didn't think Amazon going up. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like when you're wrong about like a really mainstream thing, it's different than being wrong about obviously really out there things. So I think conspiracy theories, when you're listening to them, you're like, yeah, it's just a guy telling you about shit coins and penny stocks. You're like, if one of 15 of these guys nails it and you just 100x your money. Sure. That's actually, you only need to be right 80 times and you just made a lot of money.
I suppose. I don't think they get that kind of credit though. Usually because they're so wrong about so many things where the one thing, like they even just, this is another thing that happened like 2 hours
They've been right about a few.
No, they've been right about a few, but then some of the other ones are so like out there and wacky that it kind of cancels them out a bit. But AstraZeneca, they made one of the COVID vaccines and they just completely pulled their vaccine.
Ooh, what happened?
They're just like, it's bad for you. They're like, were like, it's been removed.
There you go.
It's done.
Yeah, they've had some wins.
Yeah, of course.
Of course they've had wins. What was the RFK thing you were telling me?
Oh, the RFK thing that's another, dude, a lot on the wire today, but RFK.
This week has been a lot on the wire.
I know. RFK had, I guess, in some deposition like 12 years ago, but it just came out today that he had a parasite in his brain that ate part of his brain and then died in his brain.
So he's basically saying he has worms for brains.
That'll be tough. Officially. That'll be tough if he has to debate Trump. And Trump's like, what, I'm taking we're the guy with worms for brains is going to be the president? We got Sleepy Joe, old worm brain over here.
Worm brain is a tough nickname.
Worm brain's going to be tough to come back from. That, I hope we get, at the bare minimum, a 3-way debate. It won't happen. I don't think they'll let RFK do it. I think he's polling pretty low right now, but... man, if we get a 3-way debate between RFK, Biden, and Trump,
he's not going to be able to get in there.
I don't think they're going to let him.
Fellas, I got to tell you about Fitbod. When we're talking workout essentials, you might need your headphones. You might need your phone. One thing you definitely need is the Fitbod app. Some people might need a knee brace even, right? Fitbod, it's the essential that your workout really needs. It's a fitness app that creates completely personalized workouts that adapt as you improve. Whether you're a seasoned gym goer, you're just starting your fitness journey, Fitbod will push you to make progress. It's like having your own personal trainer, but better, cheaper. You can work out anywhere without or with equipment, and it's easy to build customized fitness plans that work for you. I do it, and especially because I'm in a different gym all the time, or if I'm just at my home gym, not my home gym, my home court gym is what I mean to say. I don't know mine. But you can type in, so it'll keep track of your progress, but then also it'll give you new things that you wouldn't think about so you don't get bored, and also so your muscles don't stunt in their growth.
I mean, yeah, like I obviously use it all the time. The best part about Fitbod by far is just the way that they will just give you exercises that you wouldn't even think to do. So I was doing an arm workout, got to get the guns going for the summer. And they have this like waiter. It's called like a waiter dumbbell curl or whatever, which I never think to do it, but you basically like hold the dumbbell with your fingers and you kind of like hold like a waiter would hold a plate. And it literally just like, it works parts of your arms that you would just never think to do. So anyways, it has all these different options that are just really great.
Adapts as you improve, tracks your muscle recovery. You can learn the movements the right way with 1,000 demonstration videos. So add Fitbod to your workout essentials. Join Fitbod today. Get your personalized workout plan. 25% off the subscription, or you can try the app for free at fitbod.me/boyscast. That is fitbod.me/boyscast. And boys, the warmer, sunnier days are calling, especially in New York, which I'm very happy with.
Dude, I've got my sandals on.
Which is why, no, you do. Which is why you want to fuel up with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. You don't want to be wasting all your time working away in the kitchen.
Nah.
When it's sunny out.
No,
thank you.
Not.
Meet the wellness goals in time for the summer thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, Factor's fresh, never frozen meals, dietitian approved, ready to eat in just 2 minutes, so no matter how busy you are, you always have time to enjoy nutritious, great-tasting meals. 35 different meals, 60 add-ons to choose from every week. You'll always have new flavors to explore. I personally was doing Protein Plus, then I switched it up, then I switched back to Protein Plus. So I've been keeping it good. And they also,
high protein.
They've got all sorts of different things that you can add on, like the juices and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, they do the smoothies. And I mean, I always say this, the best part about them is
just the time.
2 minutes, man. You don't make a single dish dirty. Pop that thing in for 2 minutes. It tastes like a meal that you just spent half an hour preparing for yourself.
I know. Incredible lunch. It's also incredible like late night. If you like feel like you're eating, you're just like, okay, I'll have something, but this will actually be like good for you and not a crazy amount.
For sure. Yeah. Instead of having a bag of popcorn, you just go eat a little Protein Plus meal.
Well, it's not got crazy. Nothing wrong with popcorn, but Factor is. You have a Factor.
Let's not besmirch popcorn.
I don't know if we need to besmirch popcorn to tell you Factor's great. Enjoy effortless support for your lifestyle. Choose from 6 menu preferences and manage calories. Maximize protein intake. Avoid meat if you want to, and simply eat well balanced. Head to factormeals.com/boyscast50. Use the code boyscast50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off the next month. So that's code boyscast50 at factormeals.com/boyscast50. 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while the subscription is active. Okay, this is my favorite thing all week. Ladies and gentlemen, help. Our DEI trainer won't stop talking about kink. So they hired a trainer at the place.
Yeah.
And they came in and this girl, I'll read a little bit of her thing. She goes, the individual straight sisses whom I work with are pretty nice for the most part. Still, people like my boomer coworkers often misgender people, mostly the younger they thems at my office, and they bristle when they are corrected. We need some outside help, so we requested a trainer outside of our organization be hired to do cultural competency training that would cover pronoun use. And although it took years of private cajoling and public shaming, we finally got it. I know a guy that his wife works at a consulting place, and they had to start doing DEI because that's the thing they want. And a lot of these places legitimately go to a business, and then they do like a $100,000 DEI training that fucks up their business, and then they hire them again to consult to come clean up the mess of their own. It's a perfect scam.
It's a nice little racket right
It's
there.
a perfect racket. But this is so funny because the DEI trainers, a lot of them are, tapped into being sex positive. So just, you've been like, we need a guy to come tell us like why being trans is great. The guy comes in, he's just wearing leather. His briefcase, he drops the dildos all come out. You know what I mean? I'm the kinky DEI trainer. He's got a bed. Yeah, it's like the kinky DEI trainer is like a literal sitcom.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I mean, it's so crazy that they're just.
Dude, he's got a bag. It just comes out all the whips and chains and stuff like that.
All that stuff. He goes, oh, that's not even for this.
I'm the kinky DEI trainer.
DEI stuff.
The slides are, it's just like, why white people are bad, why men are bad. 2 guys eating each other out.
It's like pointing with a whip.
Yeah.
It's like pointing to the thing with a...
But yeah, he's like, whips are obviously a symbol of white supremacy, but also can be a good time.
Yeah. And who wants to get whipped right now?
We need to talk about those times. We need to be able to differentiate it between the times when you are Now, we're going to talk about subs and doms for the next 2 hours. The trainer is an interesting person who belongs to many identity groups, trans and identifies as kinky, which that's pretty.
I didn't know kinky was an identity.
He identifies as kinky.
I didn't know that was one of the identities.
Yeah, you can identify as kinky.
All right.
He's a kinky boy.
I guess you can't vet the DEI trainers. You just get what you get, because if you turn one away, then that's like its own set of problems.
Exactly.
Like if we go, hey, we need a DEI, someone goes, I'm available, and they go, oh, not you, and they go, not me?
Not me?
What's wrong? What's wrong with me?
You just had your first lesson, pal. That'll be $100. You saying that I was improper for the job was your internal misogyny.
Yeah.
That'll be $1,000.
That's another reason why you need me.
You're just proving my point of why
Exactly.
you need me. The fact that you think I wouldn't be good, you've actually. Like, statistically, you haven't actually helped any of the companies you went to. They all like crumbled the minute after you do your training. You go, looking at statistics, another problem.
White supremacy.
You need me. You actually need me more than I thought. For example, when addressing questions like, what should I say if someone misgenders my coworker? This person's answer includes that misgendering may be all right if it's part of sexual play. So I would love,
dude. You know how baffled you'd be if you're some dude like 5 years from retirement. You got in trouble for misgendering, and now you're being told there like actually is a case for misgendering. But what? They're sexy. Play?
Yeah, you go into the DEI guy's office, they're like human resources. They're like, you misgendered. Now, obviously, I need to ask you questions. Was this during a sexual situation where you're? Were you riding this guy during the process?
Were you trying to be sexy in any way?
Yeah.
If you were hitting on them, then that's actually okay.
Yeah, there's actually some loopholes here.
Sure.
There's a few loopholes here. How sexy were you trying to be? But it really is a sitcom, though, having the kinky DEI guy. Okay, we've talked about white supremacy for the last half an hour. Now put your hand up if you know what gaping is.
Well, it might not even be a guy. Might not be anything.
And then it said some of the coworkers are asking, I'm really confused how kinky is an identity like trans. So they said what you said.
Yeah.
They lost me with the kinky stuff.
Sure.
So he says some of the so okay, boomer. Some of her she actually is like saying that this is causing more problems because it's actually making people being like these freaks.
Of course. Well, people are already kind of not super receptive to the stuff, and they're just going along with it, and then now they're like, all right, this is getting a bit much.
Dude, it's literally be like, the equivalent of being like, hey, we're going to make you more accepting of trans, and you bring a guy in that's like, has a ball gagging and talking about sexual play, is like, you go to like a racist place and you're trying to give them, like, tell them like, hey, you guys are wrong about racism. And then you bring in like a guy that's like a gangster shooting guns to like show you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Also, like, there's like,
you'd be like, it's not helping.
this is an accounting firm.
Yeah.
You're like, you brought this guy into like an accounting firm. It's unclear how this will help at all.
Yeah, you're like, hey, we want to give a seminar of how we need more women in the workforce, and the girl comes in crying to teach you about how you need to be more receptive to women. This is gonna be $1,000. He goes, the person, the CEO, we take credit in cash. Venmo and Cash App. So definitely the kinky trainer passes the bucket around at the end for cash.
I would love to know who
tips.
this kinky trainer is.
Kinky trainer is incredible.
Kinky DEI trainer. I wonder if they didn't know. Like, I wonder if there was information that they were kinky, or like that was kind of news when they showed up.
Oh, I bet you their photo of them somehow on the website is them standing backwards with their head between their legs, looking at the camera like that.
All right. Well,
which raises questions. This is her conspiracy. Did management intentionally pick this trainer in hopes that this effort will fail or create confusion, and then allow people to continue to use the wrong pronouns for they thems, because they will be like, I thought you were into misgendering kinky style as implied by the mandatory HR training.
that's actually a smart move. If you're being forced into this, you go, well, I'm gonna get the worst person possible. How does that sound?
That's not the
Still
worst
counts.
idea. But it's like you go up to a woman, like, that identifies as a woman, you're like, what's up, man? You go, sorry, I was just being kinky there.
Bit of a kink of mine. It's a kink of mine to misgender.
Sorry, I should have mentioned I'm fucking kinky as fuck.
How is that even a kink to misgender people? You go, that's what I'm into. I'm a freak. I'm a real freak.
Exactly.
I just like to just call you by your wrong pronouns.
You're a dude at the workplace. You just have to show up like the next day with leathers because you're like, you misgendered, and you have to go with it. Like, no, I didn't. I told you I'm kinky.
Ball gags for disciplinary stuff. You go, put the ball gag in. You're not allowed to talk for 15 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, it really is like walking into the office, and the guy's like, well, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. You misgendered, unless there is one way out of this.
There is a way out of this.
Open that closet. Let me ask you a question. What's your dick size? Because we're gonna get you suited up for a leather thong that has an erect cutout.
Man,
I watched some of Baby Reindeer.
yeah, you like it? It's pretty good.
No, I think if I wasn't a comedian, I would have been.
It is weird. Well, there's obviously a lot that's like fudged for people who haven't seen. There's this. It's like the biggest show on Netflix right now.
I know it is
but
enormous.
It's about this comedian who has stalked this guy in London, but he makes himself out to be. I don't know if he was like this, but he makes himself out to be the hackiest comic of all time.
Yeah.
Like, but I guess he's like in his mind he's doing anti-comedy, but he's just like
British people are all a little behind in comedy,
Yeah.
and they kind of did it in music where they always do this moment where it's like the guy was doing what he thought and then has a breakdown. He goes, "I'm just going to speak from the heart," but it's like it's just I'm too in comedy to know what was happening at that time, and it was just like, no, it was a trend that all these comics that things weren't going for them was like, what if I go on stage and talk about how I was molested and cry?
Yeah.
And you're just like, unfortunately it did work. And like those Edinburgh Fringe where he went, it was like, that's who was getting like all the press about them. It was like my troubles about how I was molested and then I'm having sex with trans people and I'm crying and I hate myself and I want to commit suicide. It's like, that literally was the formula to get press.
Yeah.
So when he did it, it's hard to watch it and be like, oh, you know what? He just broke and he was like, he just decided to speak from the heart. And you're like, no, he didn't decide to speak from the heart. He decided to do actually what was the most popular special on the net at the time. It was
exactly.
like everyone was doing. He was like, oh, my like making my
trauma, like his
what's it like dissectional comedy where you're sort of making fun of comedy.
Yeah.
That phase was over at that time. So he was like, oh, now we're doing like cry, I was molested comedy.
Sure.
So it's like, I see it as, I can't watch, I'm too in entertainment and have been for too long to like watch someone do a video like crying to camera and not know how calculated it was.
Yeah, for sure. I was watching it actually.
Does that make sense?
So for people who haven't seen it, and this is, I guess these are
Who cares?
Don't spoilers, whatever. But
who gives a
anyways,
shit?
the
Don't
first
watch
the
it.
first 2 or 3 episodes.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right, but it's a good show actually. But the girl who plays Martha is like incredible actor. But the
girl who plays the stalker,
yeah,
she was good.
She's a very good actor.
You're right. I'm being a little hard on it. It was just that part.
But the first couple episodes, I was very much like, how the fuck did this guy, this comedian, this white dude, get Netflix to let him make a whole series?
That's how he was molested by dudes.
But that doesn't come out till like, but the third episode, it's only until the third episode where you're like, oh, he got raped by this guy and it made him gay. Like literally the third episode, he goes, this guy raped me and then I guess I'm gay now.
Yeah.
Like where he's like, I was never gay before. And then he's like, I'm hooking up with like trans people and I was like, getting a trans girlfriend. And then you go, oh, now I get it. Well, now I get how this got the green light.
Of course.
The first 2 episodes though, I'm like, no idea how this got a green light. This is good. I just don't get why they.
Well, the other part of it to me was they couldn't do, because they basically, they like making these stories, but I don't think they could make this one with a girl because they had him. The premise was the stalker was there and he was kind of like, yeah, but I kind of like indulged it. And like,
yeah,
a lot of it was like he was asking for it.
He was asking for it. He was.
So they could only do that with a guy, right?
Yeah.
They could never have a girl and she was like, you know, being stalked and like, well, yeah, but you sort of let him on. Like,
sure.
It's like if it was a girl, they'd have to be like, the character would have to be so one-dimensional because they could only have a guy being like molested and he's like, yeah, but it's kind of like I kept going back there. Maybe I liked it a little bit. They could never do that with a woman.
No. This is very much the perfect storm for him. Like I was watching with my girl, and she's like, "How did he come up with the story?"
Is that what happened to you?
No. But she's like, and you're like, this guy would have never been able to come up with something like this. Like the only reason he even got something.
Why not?
I mean, he had like no credits or anything before this. It's like he needed this thing to happen to him for him to have this crazy story that then became this like interesting thing. Like he wasn't the type of guy who's like, oh, I'm coming up with these crazy things. Like he needed this crazy thing to happen to him, and they goes, oh, there's something there. But like like in terms of him being able to make another thing that's going to be like this, very low.
I've definitely had stalkers.
Yeah, but low. This thing is nuts though. It's like she was sending him literally like 50,000 emails or whatever.
We've had one show up at our house and take pictures and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's yeah. And anyways, it's a good show, but that was my kind of thoughts. I don't get how they greenlit this and then he got raped by a man and made gay. And I go, all right.
Well, he's sort of saying maybe it was in him before.
Sure. but it didn't. He didn't.
But I'll
know
tell you.
it.
Well, do you know what probably almost made him a little gay before that? The fact that he was trying to be a comedian, and it'll help to have a identity, especially in London.
Yeah, in London.
They're always like more. I mean, that's like Nanette. It's always the places that are a little more behind comedically are always. They're almost more of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's funny. I saw something where people were because this guy, this like I guess producer dude, like raped him or something, and then he. Like people on the internet were trying to figure out who the guy was in real life, and then people like I guess the internet was like it's this guy, and then they were trying to like ruin this guy's life, and then he's like it's not this guy.
The guy's like I'm not even gay.
Yeah, he's like it wasn't me. I'm not a rapist,
and I'm not even gay. Yeah.
Also, why not charge the guy with rape if you're saying that this guy raped you? Like. Didn't happen that long ago.
That's true. I don't know.
There's some things about it where I go like I think they go it's semi.
I kind of forgot that it was such a
semi-biographical because apparently he said like the Martha chick. He goes like we changed her so much where she wouldn't even know that it was.
Imagine
her.
I did like in 10 years I do like a biography about my life and I just like slide in and like you kept trying to rape me. And I was like, you know what I mean? Then I moved to New York, and then I did this, and then I was podcasting, and then I just have you walk in like, time to pay the toll.
Drink some of this GHB with me. You're not a prude, are you?
Yeah, just like
you want to make it, don't you?
Yeah, you messaged me like, what the fuck, dude? And I'm like, no, I said it's semi-biographical.
Semi-autobiographical. Like, I didn't use your name. You go, the guy looked just like me.
You said you wrote about the
His name was Manny Talishchuk. What are you doing?
5 years we had a podcast. The guy kept coming in with his clothes off.
This Jewish guy kept trying to give me GHB the whole time.
You literally had me walking in the door every day going,
Yeah,
it's game time. Danny, we need to start the podcast, but you're like, it wasn't even relevant to the plot.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with it. You go, hey man, this is what sells right now, all right? This is what people are into. They're like,
ooh la la. So New York's one big protest right now.
yeah.
And me and Johnny were going to go. I was leaving the next day, so it was kind of hard, but we were going to go down to the protest when they took over the school and stuff like that, because we actually filmed their last one right before that happened, but then Johnny said he was too hot.
Actually, I think the war is over.
Well, it was like 11:30.
I think the war's actually... I think the war's over, though, because Macklemore came out with his song.
Macklemore solved it.
I think Macklemore solved it. Macklemore is...
I think so, too.
I think Macklemore came out with his song, and then Israel just goes, oh... Check and mate.
Macklemore comes up with it's funny because there's the Macklemore video where he wore the Jewish costume,
and he goes, but he was like, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
It's just supposed to be a guy.
Yeah, he goes,
looks like the Grabbler.
He goes, it was just a costume. It's like literally the Grabbler costume off the Daily Stormers merch shop.
Macklemore's the king of ear to the ground. What's the new activist cause? I'll do the song about it.
Yeah,
it could be anything, you know.
Well, that is the kind of activism he's into. But yeah, he just came out, and then in the thing, there's like a big like overhead drone shot from I guess it was in Ottawa actually, some school, and they had Free Palestine written on the steps, and they spelled it wrong. They spelled
How'd they spell it?
They spelled Palestine PALA.
Something I would do.
Yeah, they spelled it wrong.
Funny. Well, I don't know if you saw the whole thing got solved also. Because there was the frat boys against the activists.
Yeah.
Which to me, I actually watched that and nothing to do with the conflict. People were kind of saying how crazy it is, and I was like, no, that's actually what a college campus should be.
It should be.
You're like back to normal.
The nerds do something. The nerds are the pro-Palestine people, and then the jocks, frat guys, are like, you guys are lame.
Yeah.
You're making probably 90% of people on the campus don't care about your thing. You're ruining their experience in college for them. So now we're going to basically, take the opposite side.
Come and chug, come with our beer hat.
Yeah,
to me, that was like,
our American flag overalls and shit. But then the one guy made the monkey sounds, and that wasn't.
Well, now he's screwed.
Yeah, he's screwed.
Yeah, but in terms of removing that stuff, you're just like, that's actually a normal thing.
That's normal, yeah.
And those guys could go negotiate like they're negotiating the treaty. They're like, listen, we agree that you guys are going to have to take showers at least once a week, and we agree that he's not going to show up to class with puke on him after the kegger.
Fair,
you're allowed to do your protest here on Tuesdays, but we don't want this. Hey, and you guys are talking about no police on campus. We're agreeing less police on campus, but we also want campus security to not be able to raid our kegger that we're doing this Friday. Like, That's actually.
Yeah.
It was. Things were back to normal. Almost.
It wasn't been back to normal. Like they were finally just had enough of it. But
you agree to shower before it's sociology class, but Chuck's gonna agree. No coming to class with puke on him, smelling.
Yeah.
You know, no shit. We're not gonna shit on the streets as long as you can keep your music down.
these are all fair deals.
It kind of felt like it was.
Yeah.
But they did pass that law where they said basically, you know, they ran to Congress to post like the speech laws that anything's anti-Semitic.
Crazy.
It almost reminded me of like, I was kind of laughing. I always, one of my favorite things is like the idea of, just from like a sketch perspective, is the idea of like when people are passing laws and one guy always tries to get one through.
Yeah.
Like, probably the thing that I think about a lot, and I've never made it a joke or sketch, is the local politics versus the like the broad guys. Like a guy really for like a small town of 500 people,
yeah,
and the guy being like, you know, I'm going to stop racism, I'm going to stop white supremacy, and I'm going to turn this town. There's going to be no transphobia. We're going to end world hunger. And the one guy's like, kind of running on putting the bridge on 4th Street. We're gonna fix the bridge.
Go get a street light put in?
Yeah, we're gonna get a street light at the intersection of Anderson and Cooper, you know. But to me, the one that was always funny was like the guy being like, no one is like, we're passing this law that no one could say any anti-Semitic stuff about Jews. And one guy being like, and also, if a woman makes fun of a man's dick size, that should also be illegal. You know, that took me a long time to say.
I'd like to tack in a rider for no dick size discrimination, please.
Yeah, just one guy. It's also, and also your wives are not allowed to, you know, get mad at you for going out with the book. Yeah. Like one guy trying to squeeze in because they're really being like, we're making a law about one thing that you can't say, and another guy's squeaking his one thing that you can't say.
I mean, it criminalizes me. Like the day they passed it, and then I posted the Jew song again or whatever, and then people are like, "See you in the gulags, Danny," or whatever, because you know all that stuff becomes illegal. It's actually pretty funny. I
mean, that would be hilarious if you went to jail for being anti-Semitic.
I know. Someone, dude. I actually was gonna. I'm like in the process of mildly trolling someone in my DMs, but some like publisher of basically like Nazi books and all that stuff like DM'd me because they saw the Jew song and they're like, hey man, I love what you're doing or whatever. They go like, I love what you're doing, like we're on the same side here.
Just send you some crypto.
No, they send me some crypto. They go, we're a publisher or whatever. Anyways, but they're like, well, they might, but anyways, they're like we're a publisher of all these like, you know, books and stuff like Mein Kampf, and they go, we saw that your comedy special is called The International Jew, so obviously like someone who would have a special like that, they're like, you know, we're on the same page. We also publish The International Jew, and then
no, they didn't.
He goes, we're also publishing The International Jew. He goes, and they want to do a sponsorship deal.
I like these guys.
They want to do a sponsorship deal with me. So then, dude, they're like,
stop it.
So I was like, what's the sponsorship deal gonna be like? And I'm just like literally just in my free time whenever I message the guy. He's like, we want to do a sponsorship deal with you. He said,
Danny picks fights with all these guys and then wonders why his channels always get flagged.
I'm not big. This is on Twitter, but but he's like, we want to do a sponsorship deal with you. He's like, you know, we're kind of an upstart, so we can only offer you. He's like, we're really big into the JQ stuff, so like, you know, that's what we're working on. So he's like, we don't have a lot of money right now, so but we can offer you like a sponsorship deal where we'll give you you know, a cut of like sales. You know, you promote our books, a coupon code. The coupon code they gave me is Danny88. And then I told him that I go, Jews have given me better deals, to be honest, but I'm listening.
All right, this has been the BOYSCAST. Danny Polishuk going to take a second here to tell you our new sponsor, Mein Kampf Books, and use the
promo code Danny88 for 20% off. And, you know, I get a couple I get a couple bucks kicked down to
that
me.
That would be the most Jewy thing you've ever done in your life.
Dude, I was like talking to this guy. I was laughing. I was laughing so hard too because I'm like, you can look at my Twitter for 5 seconds and realize like,
is there any people that have like any Jewish people that have like, you know, made money off of selling like anti-Semitic like merch or whatever?
Probably. I mean, maybe, probably not. but I'm sure
There must have been.
I'm sure it's possible. I mean, it's such a niche market, right? Like, again, these guys, they're not like
it's true.
making tons.
There isn't a ton of money in it.
There isn't a ton of money in it. I mean, a lot of these books you can buy on Amazon anyways. Like the International Jew, like I don't think these guys are the only ones who sell it.
Okay.
They're doing a print run of it. The Danny 88 thing, though, I was fucking,
that is really
I was
funny.
howling. What a funny promo code.
It is 88% off. No. It's just,
Yeah, it's going to be kind of misleading. People are going to think they're getting 88% off. And they go, no, that'll kill our margins. We can't.
Jesus
can't do that."
Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be hilarious if you went down for anti-Semitism. But yeah, they.
I mean, I theoretically could though.
I know.
Like, why? I'm not exempt from it.
Who would this help? Like, it just makes things worse always.
100%. Like, you're like, this doesn't tell any person that they can't say shit, especially in America. Like, do you see Canada? Do you see that bill that they tabled 2 days ago?
They're doing all sorts of crazy stuff. The retroactive.
The retroactive
crimes.
bill C-63 or whatever, where so theoretically, if you have a tweet up from 10 years ago that's hate speech, like that counts, that's covered under the umbrella of hate speech. So even though it's not current and like the law got passed now, they're like, yeah, it's like old tweets you can go to jail for.
Yeah, that are illegal now.
Guy's
out of his mind.
Nuts.
And then he also solved Israel-Palestine by making tampons mandatory in construction sites. He posted that.
Hand me a hammer. Guys, come on. That's going to be the whole construction site.
Well, it would be funny if Trudeau actually, if he was funny, he went up and he is just like to one guy and he was like, we wanted to do this because we think Chuck needs it. Just looking at his performance on that sander yesterday, we're thinking that we got to make it mandatory because fucking Chucker over there. Yeah. So Chucker needs him, that's for sure. Well, we thought it was a bad idea to have the mandatory constructions on our all-male construction site, but then I saw the way that fucking Tony was putting up that brick, he was laying those bricks yesterday.
Yeah, and like you need a couple of them, you know, dispenser year-round.
Watching Frankie's golf game yesterday, I was thinking that he might need them everywhere.
I hope they don't make the walrus illegal on sites, you know, just the 2 tampons in the mouth like that. That's a hate crime. That's gonna be happening. He goes, hey, there's a spill over here. Someone spilled some shit. He goes, grab a bunch of tampons. Those should soak them up.
The walrus. Is that while you're talking? You're saying the walrus like that's like a known thing.
Well, people do. Is
that a known thing in your house?
Not with tampons.
Have you ever heard this?
You've never seen someone do it like chopsticks or something? Or
yeah, but I'm picturing your house. It's your girl doing the walrus
with tampons. No. I just coined that right now.
You did. The walrus. So anyways, that's what's going on. There was one where they were both doing a fuck Joe Biden chant on both sides, which is hilarious.
That's pretty good.
I feel like on top of that, this is probably going to make it difficult when like 6 months from now, they're all just talking about canceling student loans. It was like, just like you can pay for that, I think.
Sure. Well, that's the thing. They all hate Joe Biden, even though he's canceling their student loans. Although I guess he's not canceling. The thing is, he's not canceling active student loans. Like, you're not if you're in college.
Yeah.
Right? So probably the people who are far removed from college are actually like, yeah, I like Joe Biden now because he canceled student loans.
I've been watching some of the videos, and it's kind of like half, we need safe space kind of college kids, and half like we're ready for war.
Yeah.
Like there's half the people there you're like actually don't want to be messed with. And then there's kind of like some of those, there's like, I don't know if you saw the rabbi, I think it's Shmuley or whatever, one of them. Yeah. He went and he was like in there, like trying to fake like a hate crime, basically.
Yeah.
So, but
let me walk around and instigate, and they won't let him. And
the funniest part's probably the protesters that are like the nerds with masks. Mm-hmm. The guys that have like the fucking, the flags on their head and all that sort of shit. They're like, those guys are ready to go.
Yeah, I don't think they're really going to be. I mean, some
of those guys are ready to go, dude. Yeah. They're like Black Panther style.
Yeah. Some of them. I guess some of maybe some of them are.
I'm telling you, there's a few people that you wouldn't want to wouldn't want to get into a scuffle with them. But the other half is like college kids with masks, and they're saying like, we set up our tent and like, here's our supplies that we need, and they're giving these lists like, okay, we need this is what their like demands are from the school. We need gauze, bandages, pads for wounds, goggles, trauma shears. I don't know what trauma shears are. Tweezers, CPR masks, HIV tests, Diva cups, chapstick.
Is that the one that said no bagels?
What was the bagel one?
There was one where they go food. They go, here's food, and they were like, we need vegan options. I don't know what school it was, but they're like, we need vegan options, vegetarian, gluten-free options, no bagels.
They're just watching their weight.
Yeah.
There's another one. They have a encampment and they release their schedule. So they have a speech, dinner, dealing with cops workshop, COVID testing, therapy-led grieving and processing circle, and then quiet hours.
Quiet hours.
And you're just like, okay, so those ones are not a worry. But yeah, there's some where it's like proper like Middle Eastern dudes ready to go.
And those are honestly the ones who I feel like they probably have the most skin in the game, where like, you know, they maybe have the most right to probably be mad about this whole thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with them personally.
No, I'm not messing with anybody. I don't give a shit.
The funniest thing I saw that's almost like moving on a little bit is there's I think this was in the UK, but they're basically the mosques. They want them, like their prayer areas, they want them to be men only and women only.
Sick.
And
women are allowed in mosques?
Well, I think they have prayer areas.
Oh.
I don't know if it's a mosque exactly, but I watched a whole video on it, and I watched like the guy from the Muslim guy talk about it, so I know I'm not getting it like incorrectly. This guy's, because at first I was like, as if, but it's true. So basically, the school has like no gender. They're not allowed to segregate, right?
Or like legally, under like the British law, they're not allowed.
On the British law, they're not allowed to segregate, and they're like, well, you have to let us segregate. So basically, it's the schools trying to be like progressive by not segregating, but obviously the Muslims are kind of like,
this is what we do.
You have to pass a law to kick girls out of our thing if you're progressive.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's hilarious, right?
Let's go.
Muslim students at Solihull Sixth Form College have begun to pray outside the college and protest against female students having equal access to a multi-faith prayer room. They've accused the Sixth Form of having an intolerance towards segregation.
Intolerance towards segregation. God damn it, I love that. That's a line right there.
That's some good shit, right?
Good shit. They go intolerance against segregation.
So they're literally like, if you're progressive, you're gonna kick these bitches out.
Sure. They go, it's how progressive are you?
Exactly.
Are you so progressive that you will segregate by gender?
Are you there yet?
Some people are like, fuck, I thought I was pretty progressive.
Dude, I think some of these people's brains are just going to break when they hear this one. Like, I think some of these college administrators, their brains are going to just like short circuit.
Yeah, because in the hierarchy of like, races and religions, Muslims kind of climbed up.
Well, I was thinking about this because I was actually talking a little bit about like
Catholic Church. If a Catholic Church tried to be there, I'd be like, fuck out of here.
Hell no.
Hell no.
Hell to the no. But I was thinking about, because last time I was in Austin was right when the Kanye West stuff was all going down. And so that was about a year and a half ago. So it was interesting. I was like, I remember it just started happening, and I was talking about it on stage, and kind of was doing jokes about how the trainer, Lizzo's personal trainer, he was accusing him of all this stuff, but the funny part is that that guy's Lizzo's personal trainer, because you'd be like, how's that guy ever work again? You know, you'd be like, oh, let me get a trainer. You're like, I got Lizzo's guys now, you know, and you're just like, I'm probably good on that, so that I was back there again, and it was just like a year and a half later, I was like, oh shit, it's like the big thing is the exact same shit, thing. Right? But when you're thinking about what's higher, race or gender, like I think a lot of people originally, it kind of feels like the trans stuff's the highest for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But this is the best way to say it. Every big black, black or Muslim probably figure could like say fag 100 times, and you just say the most homophobic shit, and it probably would ding them a little bit. If one of the queer eye from the straight guys said the N-word, he is done forever.
Sure.
And I think that's probably a good way to look at it, right? Like if one of those guys said the N-word, his life is his career's over.
Yeah, N-word's a career.
One of those guys pull a Kramer, he's done, right?
Yeah.
Whereas I think that most of the like big Muslim guys, like those guys could be on record saying like probably the most homophobic shit, and it wouldn't ding them that hard.
No, did you see the Kathy Hochul thing where she said she's like, black kids in the Bronx don't know what a computer
yeah, of course, I got tagged in it 100 times.
They don't know what a computer is.
It's because of the woke racist thing or whatever.
Yeah, but she's like the governor of New York. She goes, yeah,
That's the governor of New York?
Yeah, black kids. She's like, black kids in the Bronx don't know what a word computer. I'm like, are you crazy? How do you say that? How do you get so out of touch? Where you're like,
People's brains.
It's insane.
I mean, that being said, if you watch some of the drill rappers in an interview, not that.
No, yeah.
If you watch one of the drill rappers on No Jumper being like, he goes, yo, you posted something online. He's like, yeah, I don't even fucking. Also, a big mistake by Danny last year. Dale Gribble instead of Boomhauer. People,
I know.
people in the comments
confuse the two. Apologize.
Yeah, well, that was fucking. You're deranged.
Sure.
But I think that's what's happening is people's brains are getting mentally deranged. You see that a Louisiana city of wealthy white residents faces exodus of parents who resisted racist secession. So basically, these people in this town. Do you know this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I read it here, but I
wasn't even sure if I sent it.
I hadn't heard about it before. No.
But it's kind of an interesting thing because I think. They're painting it as like a racist thing, but if you actually look at the stats, it was like, no, it's a lot of black people that are moving too. It's basically like the rich people in the city are just like, why are we paying all these taxes that, you're not enforcing any cops, there's people shitting on the streets.
Schools are bad,
whatever.
Yeah.
So they're just like, well, why don't we just create our own city?
I didn't know you could do that.
They didn't either, but it worked. But they've been in the Supreme Court for like 5 years or some shit.
Yeah, now they finally have their own new city.
I mean, it really is it's obviously getting muddied as like this race thing, which it isn't. Mm-hmm. But it is like an interesting thing. You're like, can the rich people of a city just create their own city and be like, yeah, we all make a lot of money and we'll have those tax dollars actually used? I mean, why are we funding all these other people? Is kind of, I mean, it's a tale as old as time. That's America, right? That's what America is, kind of in some ways.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know. I as much as I know about it, I mean, I guess they're just saying, yeah, why can't we just do this?
But then why can't everyone do that? Like, why can't 50 billionaires be like, we're going to create our own city of 50 people and we have a mayor and, all our tax money just goes to shit that we want.
We have one awesome school. It's
and I made $1 billion last year. So, I'm paying $500 million in taxes. Okay, well, I want you to build an ice rink.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this sets some precedent where this happens moving forward. I don't know. Like, they had to vote for it. It didn't even pass.
Well, there is a point that you push people where they won't pay it anymore. I mean, that's why people from Canada are all like moving to different places because they're just like, yeah, you pushed it too far. And then he's trying to do a $25,000 tax that you can't leave. That's always the final beacon call. Like that's Stanford, California did that too. It was like whenever they like push everyone so far that they want to leave that they're like, you can't. They have to try to make you not leave.
I mean, that was the hallmark of all communist countries. Is you go, yeah, you can leave. You just can't take anything with you. Like they went.
Right.
They went to that was the full extreme of communist countries. Was you go like if they let you leave, it was like sure you can leave. We'll allow you to leave, but you can't take anything.
And some of them probably don't even allow you to leave because they're like, no, you have some fucking brick land to do, pal.
No, a lot of them don't allow you to leave, but the ones that did allow you to leave, like Russia, for example, Soviet Union, you're like, yeah, you could leave, but you're not. You can bring a suitcase.
Yeah,
you can give your clothes. You're definitely not property. Like property just goes back to the state.
Fellas, it's barbecuing season, among other things. Butcherbox is the ultimate. And it's a box that we're out there. I got my dad on Butcherbox. I got everyone on Butcherbox. Get incredible deals on premium cuts from Butcherbox. Deals this good are hard to come by at the grocery store. You're looking like a chump out there at the grocery store shaking lemons,
Shaking a chicken breast.
Shaking a chicken breast, trying to figure out if it's a good one. Hello, it doesn't work. No. Butcherbox takes the guesswork out. Peace of mind. Easily find high quality meats, seafood you can trust. I kind of been doing all this stuff. I haven't done a ton of the seafood, but I've been on everything else from Butcherbox.
Man, those I've said it before, but the lobster tails that they have, you make a little lobster.
That has been sort of your jam.
Maybe you're cooking.
Yeah, you have been sort of a lobster tail man.
Yeah, I love lobster tails.
The breasts, a bit of everything they
got. The pork chops,
100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken. Pork raised, crate-free, wild-caught seafood, humanely raised, no antibiotics, no added hormones, free shipping as always, delivered right to your doorstep, curated to customized box plans, incredible value with a variety of high-quality cuts at an amazing value, exclusive membership deals, recipe inspiration, guides, tips, and hacks. So this is just a convenient way to get the best cuts delivered to your door, and it is the season. So this is a value, and if you want to go, sign up at butcherbox.com/boyscast. Get our special deal, which Butcherbox is offering our listeners a special deal, plus $20 off your first order. Join today using our link, butcherbox.com/boyscast. Use the code boyscast to receive this unique deal today. So head over. You know what I always
bank accounts, everything.
Whenever I'm looking at the, like Muslims and Christians and religious stuff, even in like comedy, I often am just like, man, it would be sick to have a religion, because legitimately, think about
Start your own?
dude, there's so many people that get into trouble and then they just go, actually, this is against my religion. And then you just have like baked in, millions of people that are support you.
Yeah.
It really is like the perfect crime.
So why don't you accept Christ?
I've honestly thought about it and I can't. I'm just not like, it doesn't work for me. I honestly have given it an honest shot. Thought about all this stuff and it's just like, I don't believe it. Yeah. I can't pretend I do.
yeah. Just don't care enough.
I can't, and I'm not good at like, you know what? I'm sure you know me enough to know that like I'm not a person that can really say things I don't think that much.
No,
which is maybe like a curse in some sense, because I guess in some sense I generally don't say opinions I don't think.
Yeah,
but also that's not because I'm honest person. It's because I'm not able to.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm incapable of not saying what I think.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are happy to sit that they don't believe to just be on this team. That
I couldn't do it.
They do the math in their head and they say, you know what, the costs are way lower than the benefits are so high for me just like saying some things I don't believe. They go, sure, yeah,
I know,
I'm part of this club and I just have to occasionally do some shit.
I was baptized Anglican,
okay,
so I could, like, if someone was coming for me, could I be like, hey, Anglicans, they're fucking there's a war on Anglicans. What's Anglicans? Just Christian, I guess.
I don't know, it's one of them. Yeah. Protestant? No, I'm not Protestant. No. You're incorrect about that. This is just like the normal, like, wishy-washy Christians where they probably have, like, pride flags at the church. Yeah. Like female gay.
Milton Berry, that was the pastor's name.
Milton Berry.
Yeah, milk and berries.
I don't know. All the different Christianities confuse me.
I don't know. There's whatever, but It would be. You just have so many people riding for you immediately. Mm-hmm. It's like a get out of jail free card.
I mean, the Muslim thing. That's for sure the best part of the Muslim thing.
It's amazing.
You're like, there's ways. So I just joined this club, and then there's fucking 2 billion of us.
Scientologists have it a little. I guess Scientologist is the one you do if you're not about that life.
Yeah, if you want to be like this super closed thing. But I mean, the Muslim thing for sure. You're like, fuck, man, there's 2 billion of us. Like, you can't really ever feel that threatened as like in terms of your actual like identity.
Yeah, because you always be like, there's
2 billion of us. They're like, there's 50 Muslim majority countries. You're like, at the end of the day, you're like, maybe they're not the country you're from, but.
It is a good like hack, and it just so many people have like, even like, think about like Mel Gibson, like all the shit people are like, oh, you're anti-Semitic. He's like, actually, I'm just so for God. Now I'm gonna make another movie and I'll make $1 trillion, like kind of selling Jesus.
Yeah, and then he made the Santa movie.
That was actually okay. I like Mel Gibson movies.
I didn't see it actually. I heard that one was good though.
I like him. I don't know if it was totally the best movie in the world, but it was good for me. Oh, Mel Gibson is a banger factory, my friend.
Apocalypto was such a good movie.
Holy of course. It was incredible. Yeah, he was making good ones.
Yeah.
I don't know the extent to which he's like a director, or what's the extent that he's kind of like good at like organizing projects. I don't know how creative.
Passion of the Christ was like his.
Did he write it?
I want to say, I think he did.
Give me that information. Did Mel Gibson write Passion of the Christ?
I don't know. Yeah.
Did the God come through his hand and he was just the vessel that wrote it? Really?
Written by Jesus. Did he write it?
Writer of Passion of the Christ.
He's credited as writer producer.
One of them or the?
A writer.
A writer. So you never know what these things mean, right?
Yeah.
When you see like the guy who organized the project, face of the thing, helped sell it, executive producer, and they have him credited as all these things with other people, it's like
sometimes they're just.
That means that could mean that like the lines for tomorrow, he was like, we're changing this, we're changing that.
Yeah, he goes, I want the writer credit, and you get more money, you get like a bigger piece of the thing, and just.
Yeah, so it's hard to really know exactly how involved they are, but regardless, he makes bangers.
Yeah, he did produce it though.
That's what I think he's good at, pulling together projects and selling them.
Like, that was the whole thing. Is he owned, like, they were like, he made so much money on Passion of the Christ because he owned the whole thing.
Oh,
yeah.
He's laughing.
Yeah, he went all the way to the bank.
Well, he actually didn't go to the bank because they weren't really.
He was debanked, unfortunately. He had to go somewhere in Switzerland.
This is actually where he didn't go. Boys. Article from AOL.com. Crying at the gym is completely normal and could benefit you. Mm-hmm. This is always just one person that is like a complete mess.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what?
I almost dropped a
This
barbell.
is more your
I
territory.
almost dropped a barbell on my foot today, and I would have been absolutely in
Written by a
tears.
girl. Okay. Just
course.
want to make sure. Well, I just want to make sure. Sometimes you never know.
Sure.
It's funnier if it's a guy.
It's a guy. I don't see. No.
How much you drop a barbell on? The 15s were too heavy for you?
No, I was mentally not paying attention, and then the barbell was like leaned up against this thing, and then my foot, I was barefoot too, and then I took the 45 off, and as I was taking it off, I was like pulling it off, but I was holding just the thing and not the barbell, and then just before I was like, oh shit, if I pull this off, this is going to land on my foot.
On your foot?
Yeah, with no shoes on.
Why you don't have shoes on?
Because I was deadlifting and I don't wear shoes when I deadlift.
You take your shoes off in the gym?
Yeah, it's because it's bad for your feet because like I have running shoes and you could wear Vans or like flat soled shoes. Like you ever see those like lifter shoes? They're like perfectly flat, but like some shoes have like a angled, like a running shoe has like your foot's angled, and apparently it's not good for you to deadlift. So.
The reason I was just looking is because I was trying to do a shout out to this guy that he said we could come and do blood work when I was in Austin.
All right.
It weighs too well.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. No, I did it already.
Oh, you did it? Oh, you did the blood work?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But I don't have all the stuff. I don't know
Yeah,
what
it takes like a
happens.
week or something.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. You probably do crip work. Fellas, this is...
Ryan's deep into the rap beefs.
If you ever
You think Crips are like not, because remember that we talked about it a long time ago, but how Crips are not allowed to
say C's?
see like or B's or whatever,
Yeah.
and like so like if you're a Crip and your doctor's like, so we need to send you in for some blood work,
You
and you're like,
can't do that.
Can't do that, dog.
Are you fucking with me right now? Yo, people
No,
got
if there's a
shot
place
for
I can do
less.
clud work, then I'll do some clud work, but blood work's not on the table, dog. I shouldn't have even said that. No.
I don't think the like hardcore gangbangers are doing a lot of like this is
Yeah,
like
yeah. Well, sometimes they
fancy boy
They
tech
might have
health
like diabetes
products.
or something. Like they go to the hospital and they go, we need to draw some just to see what's going on, you know?
Uh-huh.
And then they go, we need to, or do they know in the hospitals? They go, hey, we're just going to do some routine clud work and then we'll get you out the door. Like they're like, made that mistake before.
If you ever found yourself crying at the gym, you're not alone. And experts, all the experts are back at it again. This time the experts have figured out the crying at the gym is good.
Okay.
Experts are sharing the reasons why. Just 20 chicks balling in. Imagine going to a gym, you just walk in, girl squatting, crying, girl on the thing crying. You're just like, what is going on? The experts recommend it.
Man.
So here they basically
Is it like from overexerting yourself? Or are you having like a nervous breakdown? Like what is the source of the
they have an
crying?
answer to that, and they give 5 different categories, and they say 5 different
reasons to be
I only have
crying
a
at the
couple
gym?
here, but yeah, sometimes you're crying because of stress. Sometimes it's because of happiness.
Well, you hit a PR and you're so pumped about it that you just start crying?
The only acceptable crying for a dude is always like happy crying.
Shit. I mean, not at the gym.
If I think the last 30 times in my life, or like 30 years in my life, that I don't think I've ever cried from like a bad thing.
Yeah.
The only time I've cried probably in the last 30 years really is like happy shit in movies. That's the only thing that gets me. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yeah.
I don't even sad shit in movies doesn't even get me. It's like only fucking
like a real- yeah.
you know, like Tom
real.
Cruise lands the plane that
I went to and Ryan's like,
I'm not joking, dude. Happy shit in movies sometimes gets me.
yeah.
And I go, I'm not fucking crying, dude. Yeah.
It's a fucking sick aircraft carrier.
I don't know. Can you think of a time where you cried because of being sad? Like
Sad?
in memory? I can't think in memory.
No.
Or like hurt or something.
No.
I can't. But I do. I'm telling you, the movies, probably the most time ever is movies get me. Or like,
Yeah. It's probably only movies that elicit any sort of.
just like something like happy shit sort of fucking hits me
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
The guy finally gets a girl at the end, you know?
Sure. So yeah, something like that. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But so that's at the gym. Yeah, you hit the PR. I'll accept you hit the PR.
But you're so jacked up with like that. You just like it's just not a response that would happen. Like if you
I
get a
don't
PR,
think
you walk around and be like, "Woo!" Like it's not.
I
you're
know,
like- you're like-
but you don't cry because you hit the PR. You cry because your boy hit the PR and he's been trying for 6 months.
I guess yeah. If you got a workout partner,
You cry. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah, like he finally did it. You know?
sure. I guess
You could shed one.
Yeah, if he was maybe like kind of disabled or something, and they get some chin up or something. I don't know.
Disabled guy hits a chin up, you can cry.
Yeah, whatever. You go, fuck, man. Get misty height.
The stress, so you can cry from stress is one of the reasons. It's a very normal thing. It's not normal to cry at the gym. The experts have decided that crying
Is
at the
there
gym
a specific locker room that kind of has most of the crying?
Yeah,
happening
Equinox.
No, but I meant the gender of the locker room.
The Equinox, when you go in, they're crying. It's like those guys are coming down from all the MDMA last night.
Yeah, they're just getting blown in the steam room.
It's a very normal thing if you're crying in times of stress. It could be anything: family stress, work stress, changes in a romantic relationship. I guess a guy that like broke up with his chick, and you just had, the guy that's at the gym just like working that off, you know, fucking bitch.
But again, it's like it's a different type of energy. Like the weightlifting energy when you're lifting weights is such a different.
I agree.
You know
I'm just
what I mean?
kidding. Of
Yeah.
course, I agree that it's ridiculous to be at the gym fucking woo. You do both. You go, let's fucking go.
Like I guess if you
now we're working.
Like if you injure yourself, maybe like if you're training for a triathlon and it's next week and then you fucking blow your knee out.
I wouldn't cry.
Doing
There's
squats,
no way that
doing
shit would make me
squats or
cry.
something. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying maybe a chick would. Like I would at least be like, okay, that's I guess.
Well, this article doesn't differentiate. It's just as normal for guys as girls.
Like she was so close to the top of the mountain and then it was taken away from her.
Yeah.
Like at the near, and you go, oh, I get that.
I saw a girl cry. UFC girl didn't make weight and she was crying.
Yeah, because she probably was like, I've been training like insane for 8 weeks.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
Starving myself and getting hit in the head. Yeah, that I understand.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if you were going to use that machine and then someone took it and you were next in line. I don't know if that should be a crying.
That's not a crying.
Fatigue is another reason you can cry. If you're tired during a particularly intense workout session, could also cue the waterworks. So just like you're too tired.
Because you might be maybe just be sweating and you're confusing the two. Is that possible?
Dude, if I saw a guy at the gym crying and you're like, you all right, man? He goes, I'm just tired.
I'm just tired.
You go, go home.
Yeah,
you
go
psycho.
home. You're pushing yourself so hard you're crying?
They're not fatigued. Oh, I don't know. I guess fatigued from an intensive workout session. Never mind. I was just thinking tired in general. But yeah, like I went so hard that I'm crying.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, this is out of control.
Maybe I'd cry if I was like on a bench and then I was like bench pressing.
Well, that's not what the experts say.
And then some guy accidentally sat on my face, like the fattest guy at the gym sat on my head. I might get a couple tears out of me.
I love how you think if a fattest guy at the gym sits on someone's head, you're the one being sat on, not sitting. Another one is happiness. Not only does working out release pent-up feelings, but it also produces endorphins that can lead to happy tears. So there's no reason that it's not normal. Experts say it's perfectly normal. It's the most normal thing in the world. I have a feeling the experts are going to say that. Also, this is at your job. Also, it's everywhere else.
Well, I'll keep an eye out on
That's all my favorite. Like Monty Scott had that joke years ago, but I think sometimes people just become the best jokes. You're just like whenever that topic comes up, you think of them.
Yeah.
Because they kind of just described it. But he's like, if you want to see the difference, like when a girl's crying, watch how much help she get, and when a guy starts crying, watch how much space he gets. Guys, start crying on the subway. Watch how much space you get.
Oh, for sure. Oh yeah, especially in New York.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I fucking crying at the gym's incredible. But we have another one. It was before the Selena Gomez had that photo where everyone was just telling her how brave she was for posting it.
Yeah.
But this influencer comments on influencer's hot bikini pic, sends her into a spiral, and basically every person was just commenting how brave and just like, I'm so happy someone's showing me what a normal body looks.
Wasn't about
she
that.
thought it was hot.
Not even that, but she just was posting a photo of her. She didn't think it was any sort of
Yeah.
She goes, here's me in Greece.
And it went viral. Hey, listen, every girl loves body positivity until they get called body positive.
Yeah, no shit. You're so brave.
Oh my God, thank you so
She's
much.
just like a normal looking chick. Like, she looks fine.
Next time
She's not like jacked or anything.
you're with a girl, she asks you how she looks, tell her realistic.
Attainable. Really, you have a really attainable.
I honestly, you look like you're doing good for society by showing people what a realistic, attainable body looks like. So the woman was initially confused after unedited bikini pics went viral, with women praising her for promoting realistic body image, a situation that Carly said left her grappling with body image issues.
Yeah. Now
Ironically.
she's gonna have an eating disorder now.
sent me into a spiral because I didn't even think twice about the fact that my body looked realistic to some people. I was just vibing in my bathing suit, showing off the awesome view. That's so fucking funny though, because I'm sure that most of these girls that would say this, you'd be like, well, you've been the one comment, you've been saying that this is great, that people are showing off realistic bodies.
Yeah.
Her post, which also shared in video form on TikTok, has received a huge response as many praise the social media star. We are just so tired of filters and smoothing pictures before posting them that seeing this just felt refreshing and real.
It'd be funny if she did use filters and then she's like,
yeah. I don't know if there's a guy version of that, you know, but the girl version, they're probably not because we don't really have a body.
Guys will flex, I guess. That would be the equivalent of if a guy's in a photo.
I guess
he'll be like, let me flex as hard as I fucking can.
I guess you could post on a thing like, thank you for showing everyone that going to the gym is not just for, you know.
Yeah, sure.
I love that you're just saying the common man could just go to the gym.
just anybody, just any fat piece of shit.
I appreciate you showing me that health is important and gains aren't everything. Guy's just crying at the gym. That's why he's crying.
He's like flexing, and everybody's like, "Man, what a realistic body! I could look like that in 2 weeks at the gym, man."
You can be healthy without being ripped. I feel like we're only seeing extremes, like models are really fashionable plus size, but not the in-between. So she's getting called the in-between. Another comment, agreed. Happiness is realizing my body is not the full picture. Every girl needs to hear this.
Preach.
Others shared reasons why they've avoided taking photos. Carly's post has inspired them to take the damn picture. Just like a 900-pound girl on your comment section being like, you're right, I should be in a bikini.
Yeah.
Got girls like us do not need to be told.
I mean, there's no shortage of those either, though.
One declared, this motivated me to stop freaking out and just take the picture.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. But again, you're like, it shouldn't motivate you.
I think Danny should get some comments on that if you're listening on his Instagram photos.
But that's the thing.
Realistic body.
It shouldn't motivate you because you're about to see what it's going to do to her, and then it'll do the same to you.
Yeah.
Like if you're that chick who goes, motivated me, and then you post the photo, and then everybody's like, this is so realistic. You're like, you know what that means.
You definitely 100% have no qualms about what that might mean.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, you think you're going to like it until 50,000 strangers comment.
Would you like if a girl called your dick realistic?
Yeah, exactly. You're like, what?
This is the most realistic. This is what a man's dick looks like.
This is what a man's dick looks like on a statue in an Italian museum. You go, what?
That's fun. Dude, getting called, I love calling girls realistic. A husband. Men have been out of control this week. Well, this guy. My husband said he wants to divorce me because I breastfed my son now that they've been in another man's mouth.
This is crazy.
This guy, the girls,
really crazy.
So the girls sort of blow the whistle on this guy, but the guy wants a divorce. I mean, the only other thing is maybe this guy just wanted a divorce and he's fighting over everything, but it doesn't sound like it.
No, it sounds like he's really crazy.
Sounds like he's a fucking nutbag.
Yeah.
So the guy wants a divorce from the wife because she breastfeeds, and he's just like, well, I'm taking this guy's kid's sloppy seconds.
Literally, he goes, your breasts have been in another man's mouth. Like, it's our newborn baby.
Well, he's walking up. Yeah, he's probably going into the baby's crib. He's like, I guess we have to do a little chat here, huh?
Because you stay away from my woman.
You think you just
goes, honey, what are you doing? Nothing. Just putting the baby to sleep. Fucking stay away from her.
You think you just take what you want, huh? Baby's just in there.
He's like...
Do you think the baby is in on it, though? He winks at the dad?
Yeah, probably.
You've been breastfeeding? You know how I fucking feel about that, the dad writes, outraged. I enjoy your boobs. Now they've been in another man's mouth. I no longer enjoy your boobs. He's male and your son. Also, this makes it incestuous in my eyes. So he's definitely, you fucking freaks, coming in the girl's breastfeeding.
I love he plays the incest card.
Yeah, you look at you fucking freaks. I'm not living in this progressive freak show where you...
Hey, man. Hey.
And there's screenshots of him telling his wife that he wants her to move to the family home and he wants 50-50 custody. And also he said that he doesn't want her to do baths after a certain age because he says he doesn't trust her with the kid now. He doesn't trust the two of them together naked.
I mean, if this is true, this guy is going to get 0% custody. Like, you go into fucking
true.
family court and she's like, yeah, he thinks breastfeeding is incest.
Yeah, and she's like, I don't. And you're like, explain why I walked in on him fucking gagging on your tits.
Yeah, this guy's getting the road to 0%.
Yeah, that's nuts. By the way, kind of a funny thing is the Taliban, which we always, probably one of my favorite things.
Taliboys.
The Taliboys. It was one of my favorite things. We talked about it a bit, but there's all those Vice articles about how the Taliban, after the war is over, now they just had to be like jobs at the government. You know, the guy was like fighting the war.
Became bureaucrats.
Yeah, they had to become bureaucrats, right? Which obviously sucks. That we were saying. Remember, we were saying the girl asking him like, "Hey, excuse me, do you know what's going on with the paper copier?" And he's like, "You would be hanging from a tree."
Yeah.
But the Taliban now, which. They're basically trying to woo tourists from Afghanistan.
Yeah, so, hot tourist destination.
Yeah, they're trying to make it a hot tourist, which is actually, to be honest, that is actually the next step in a country. Like, they are doing good, and they're just like, probably is better for the country if they try to make it, so people can come there. Yeah. It's good for the economy. And it's also,
sure. It's too bad that the Taliban destroyed like all their best monuments and everything.
Oh,
dude, they had all these crazy like 2,000-year-old statues and monuments, and the Taliban destroyed all of them.
I didn't even think of that.
Like 10, 20 years ago or something.
Well, have you seen the photo? So basically,
Kabul?
We'll put this on, but the photo basically, look at they did in their travel brochure, they photoshopped themselves in. So they actually didn't take the photos. They photoshopped Taliban guys like having a fun time being tourists taking selfies.
I mean, Giulio Gallerati, funny comic, but he did this like weird travel series, and he did go to Afghanistan. He said it was fun.
Oh, I remember Giulio went there.
Yeah, I remember he made a thing. He's like, it was cool. He went to Afghanistan, and they like, he said it's cool, but it's really difficult to get to. There's not really direct flights, and you got to fly in other countries.
So you're saying it's probably not going to work that good making that a tourist destination?
They have to set it up. Apparently, they don't have a visa system set up so that you can't to go there. You have to give months in advance warning to get.
Doesn't it almost seem suspicious too? The Taliban being like, yes, come through. No, all that
Americans,
all that death to America stuff. We were just that was all.
We were just overreacting.
It almost seems cap. I mean, for starters, they'd have to make it so girls can do it. Like that's the hardest because most probably, I don't know what the exact percentage is, but if I was to guess, I would say 80% of travel is a guy and his girlfriend or wife.
Yeah, they did say something because there's Kabul has one 5-star hotel, and I think there's like a spa in there where women, if you're a tourist, because women are not allowed to go to school after 6th grade.
But they make it so tourists can't have to go up to do those laws.
I think similar like Dubai, where Dubai has certain rules like around alcohol.
The girls have to wear the head stuff. So.
Yeah. But certain like Dubai, I think the alcohol is illegal there unless you're a tourist.
If you're a tourist, you can drink though.
Yeah, like you can drink in like hotel bars and stuff. But
yeah, so I think they almost have to do that kind of stuff.
I guess, but who's gonna? I mean, I don't know if they have any resources or whatever, but I don't know what the big selling point for going to Afghanistan is when you're in that part of the world.
Yeah, the country's pretty war torn, right?
Yeah, it's like a disaster. I just don't know what the selling point is. Do you have some sort of nice like waterfront or? I don't know, some museums.
Well, they have a bunch of people in front of a crappy monument taking a selfie right now.
That's what I'm saying. It's not even the thing. It looks like the actual monument got removed. It looks like it's just the base of it because they're like, we destroyed the actual thing. All we have left is the base that it used to sit on. So it seems like the kind of place where maybe if you were doing a Middle East trip, you go, we'll go to Kabul for a night.
Oh yeah, 100%.
2 nights and then go somewhere else. But nobody's gone for the whole trip to Kabul.
What was it when we went to Europe? What do you think was the best place?
The best place.
What do you think is the best place we went to? I mean, I probably had the most fun in London, but again,
London was probably
not
London.
A travel guy.
I liked Sweden, but we didn't get to see much, to be honest. But
even just taking cars and cabs and stuff. Like, what do you think was the nicest looking?
Probably London. I mean, London's hard to beat. It's like I forgot how sick London was.
London's awesome
because I hadn't been there in a while. How cool London was. Probably London. After
even just like walking around in London, it's very cool. Like. It kind of has a New York vibe where there's everyone everywhere, but it's like more walking than roads almost.
Yeah.
Like there's big areas where
it's huge. It's a huge city. Like yeah. But I don't know. Stockholm looked cool, but it was freezing.
We know lots of people that moved to London and stayed there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Stockholm was I liked, but the vibe there, but it was so cold that you couldn't. We didn't have time to really go around.
It was very cold. What was the one that kind of felt like Russia, where we had to do that big drive?
Big drive.
Maybe it was Finland. Maybe.
No, we didn't go to Finland. Copenhagen, maybe? I don't remember.
The one that was close to Finland, because when Tony came.
That was Sweden.
Yeah, Sweden.
Stockholm.
I felt like the actual city was cool, but we drove through the country and it did feel like
Oh, right. Yeah, to
a lot of desolate stuff.
Yeah. To go from the airport, it's like an hour drive into the city. And yeah, you're just kind of going through whatever. But yeah, I don't know.
Kind of reminded me of like scenes I've seen when they had the Olympics back in the day.
Yeah. You got to go, I think, in the summer to a lot of those places to really appreciate them.
Well, speaking of travel, we actually have an update, and some of the Australian boys came there,
Nice.
which I'm off tour till I go to Australia,
Yep.
which is going to be fun, and I'm going to hang out. Like, there's a lot of funny people there, and Nima lives there and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, Fred was.
Yeah, but so you know how we've been talking about the woman who made the art gallery that men can't go into,
Yes.
and the men saw, because she basically pulled the scam where she goes, men can pay for a ticket and then you get there and they kick you out and they go, that was the exhibit.
That was the exhibit, yeah.
So the men are winning, and then they said she can't do that. However, now she's got another trick up her sleeve, and by the way, this is making her like very popular. So this is the whole scam's working.
Okay.
But her new thing is she goes, women only museum becomes a toilet to keep men out, and she goes, but if it's a bathroom, then I can do it.
Yeah, except for guys are allowed in the women's bathrooms. You go, okay, well, I identify as a girl. Check and mate, you dumb broad. You go, you're not a woman. You go, yeah, I am.
Well, that's the problem.
And then maybe she goes, well, that's the art exhibit because I made you say you're a woman.
I know. It's there is a never-ending stream of what the art is. She goes, her plans involve transforming a velvet-clad lounge into a women's toilet in church, which she claims will allow it to continue operating as a women-only space under legal exemptions. So this is kind of where it's going, is it's a women-only space. And then it was like, I mean, they've been having these debates all over the world, everywhere. I mean, that's J.K. Rowling's whole deal is, can they have women-only spaces?
Yes. And I know. And I mean, Australia, I would imagine, is pretty progressive when it comes to this shit.
Oh, body.
Yeah.
They're I don't know, I think they have a prime minister probably. But I feel like the prime minister in Australia is very similar to like he's always doing the pro censorship stuff. Mm-hmm. And then he even said, he goes, Elon Musk's out of touch, eh?
Yeah, well, he wanted to censor. He wanted like Twitter to remove all the stuff that was about that stabbing.
I was talking to a lot of tech guys about Elon Musk when I was in Austin.
Yeah, what's the scoop?
Very pro.
Yeah.
They all sort of have that attitude of like, he's the one guy you wouldn't bet against sort of stuff.
I mean, it's been a pretty...
And a little bit of the like 3D chess stuff. A little bit of like, a lot of times, which is one thing that I've never thought of, is some of the stuff he says, he knows that he's like pushing the window a little bit, so now other people can say the one under that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that too, where he takes it a little bit extreme and then dolls it back a little bit, because he knows that just like opens it up for other tech guys to now be able to like say what they think.
Interesting.
So apparently there's a bit of that where he's like consciously does that.
Huh.
But the gist of it from... Again, this is Austin, which Austin tech guys are maybe pro him, and I bet you a lot of the San Francisco... You're not going to
find a lot of guys who
a lot of the San Francisco tech guys might have been like, he's a Nazi, you know?
Sure. Yeah, maybe. That's good, though. I like Elon.
Yeah, everyone's pretty pro him, but...
Nice.
Cool city, Austin.
Yeah,
so
Austin.
Shout out. And I got to... The cool thing is I always spend a lot of time sort of like chatting with people, and also the place I played had like a big outdoor, so I hung out with a bunch of guys that came, some crypto guys. It's a collection of interesting guys that moved to Austin in general.
Yeah. I mean, they got a good scene there. I'm like just in general, not even just comedy. But
yeah, exactly.
It seems like they had a huge influx.
It does.
Yeah.
But once again, we're now starting to get close to our 3,000 patron goal, so appreciate everyone who has been signing up for that.
Yep. And I'll be at the dojo this Saturday. Morris Plains.
You're going to the New Jersey dojo?
Yeah, this Saturday night. Come on out.
Maybe I'll come.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, patreon.com/theboyscast for another episode. This has been The BOYSCAST.